Hey guys, so I am here shopping today at Trader Joe's and I'm getting all the ingredients for the buckwheat waffles, which I'm going to make today. So I don't do a lot of dairy. I should say I try to minimize my dairy intake. So I won't be using buttermilk for this recipe, although buttermilk is one of the primary ingredients in making waffles taste rich and they crisp up really nicely, but I'm going to give it something else to give it a little more body that will mimic buttermilk. So I'm going to use coconut milk. Actually, I'll be using the reduced fat coconut milk, and what you're going to do is prepare this ahead of time. So right before you start preparing all of your ingredients and adding all of your ingredients, what you're going to do is take 1 cup of coconut milk, and for every cup that you use, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And what that's going to do is help the milk curdle, and you'll give it that nice buttery texture that you could use as a substitute for buttermilk. So I'm going to finish all the rest of my shopping and get started on the recipe. Through Fridays are usually very busy for me, so a simple green smoothie or an acai bowl is usually good for me. But it would not be Sunday morning if I didn't include a breakfast treat like waffles. So today I will be creating a waffle recipe using buckwheat flour. Buckwheat flour is really easy on the gut, and if you have any grain sensitivities, this is a great way to incorporate different recipes into your diet without it having the residual effect in your gut like I've had in the past. So stay with me, I'll walk you step by step through this recipe, and I'll also include a topper, a special topper, an apple compote, which is a great accompaniment to this recipe. Stay tuned. This recipe will mix 1 cup buckwheat flour, 1 tablespoon of date sugar or coconut sugar, 1 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. Now on to the wet ingredients. We'll start with 1 1/4 cups of full-fat coconut milk, adding to that 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Now you'll want to let that sit for about 15 minutes until it starts to curdle. Then you'll add 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil, 1 large egg, or you can use an egg replacer, or you can also use a chia egg. Then you'll add 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, or you can use my recipe for making your own bourbon vanilla. Mix together well. At this point, you're going to combine the wet ingredients and dry ingredients, adding a little at a time, stirring, adding more until it's completely combined. Now you can use a rubber spatula if you'd like I'm using, but it's best to use a wire whisk so that the batter is creamy, it's smooth, and without lumps. Just set the batter to the side and heat up our waffle iron. And now on to the apple compote. This recipe I'll be using Granny Smith apples, but I will also use this wonderful handheld mandolin to give me the slices I'd like. It has 3 settings, the number 1 for the thinnest slice, number 2 setting for a medium slice, and number 3 for the thickest slice. I'll be using setting 1 for the thinnest slice to reduce the cook time. Now you want to make sure you use a guard as you're getting down to the smallest parts of the apple because you don't want to risk chopping off fingertips or risking other injuries. Now I'll take a coconut oil spray and lightly spray both grates of the waffle iron just to ensure the batter doesn't stick. Now I'll use my 1/3 dry measuring cup to measure out 1/3 cup of batter and placing it in the middle of the waffle iron so that it spreads nice and evenly. I'll close the top and that will allow the batter to spread even more throughout all of the grates. Now here you can use the manufacturer's instructions for preparing your waffles, but a good rule of thumb is 1 minute on one side, flip, and then 1 minute on the other side. Use your fingers to test for doneness and crispness. Okay, now the waffles are all done. Now make sure that you keep them in the oven on a very low temperature, about 200, somewhere between 200 and 250 degrees, just so that they stay warm and the edges stay nice and crispy until you get ready to serve. Now I'm getting ready to move into the apple compote, which I love. Now when I was a kid, my grandmother in Virginia, she used to send my mother boxes of dehydrated apples. My grandmother would pick the apples, she'd dehydrate them and send them to us. And my mother would take the apples and hydrate them and fry them. Now this recipe, I'm gonna do it a little differently because my mother would deep fry them from start to finish. But what I'm going to do, I'm gonna start with a steaming process to actually steam the apples first so that they cook all the way through, and then I'm going to flash fry them at the end using a little coconut oil, okay? So let's get started. Use the apples that we sliced earlier, and we're going to put them in a pan with about 1/4 cup of water and let it cook until the apples reduce. And then to that we'll add 1/2 cup of date sugar and 1/2 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and just allow that to cook and allow the ingredients to marry. Now once the apples have reduced even more, I'll add 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt and 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. Now, although this recipe does not call for bananas, I like to add sliced bananas to my apple compote. At this point, you're going to turn the heat off and add the bananas. Now, I'm not going to cook the bananas because I don't want them to become mushy. I'm simply going to fold them into the apple compote until they're nicely coated with the caramel. So this is the finished product. Will you look at that? I mean, these are the best buckwheat waffles I've ever made. I mean, they turn out well all the time, but it's just like extra today. Maybe because I made it for you. But you have the apple compote with the cinnamon and the bananas and the maple syrup with some pecans or pecans, depending on where you were raised. It just all marries well together, and it is a delicious treat. You really only need one because it's very filling. And the buckwheat flour has many nutrients in it, so you're really getting, this is a great product. So I'm going to put this down and take a bite. And yes, I'm gonna do it while I'm on screen because I want you to experience through the camera. Oh my God. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that is so good. So I want you to try it at home. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.